So good morning, everyone. And I see there are a lot of faces, it's like as if like you are being very tired and coming from all the way in the fog. Okay, so let's start like about this topic, the climate change adaptation and development. We have been talking about this topic very often now, recent past years. Why? Anyone knows? Because many of my fellow speakers had come and delivered their speech, and they talked about the mental health, they talked about the climate change, how we need to adopt in the current present scenario. Why this topic is very vibrant? Have we ever thought about it? Are we just coping up with my words, or I think I'm not getting any reactions over here. Okay, so I think this topic has been become very vibrant after the pandemic, 2020. Don't you think so? We are the largest country and the first rank in the worldwide on the population, 140 crore population we are. Have we ever thought about it? Are we not making a huge cost regarding this population growth due to this climate adaptation and change towards this? Have you ever thought about this? How do we need to control about the population? And that is vice versa, which is related to the pollution as well. We are increasing the pollution. Are we not? Okay, so I just wanted to give a small brief about myself. I'm not only an entrepreneur, I'm also a part of Ministry of External Affairs from Government of India. So we do a lot of programs on the sustainability management, talking about the sustainability not only on the climate change, we are also talking about the sustainability on all the day-to-day life of every individual. We can easily blame any government because the government has not done this, because this government has not given any equipped schemes or policies or solutions for the pandemic, the second pandemic when it comes. But why are we blaming the government all the time? Are we correct, first of all? So that is the first question over here. As an individual, as a citizen, have we taken any step due to this climate change adaptation and how we can able to improve? There was a first scheme introduced related to the sustainability and the climate change in India. And how many of you people know that the first state of India who implemented this? That is Tamil Nadu. I am coming from that state only because I'm so proud to say that I'm a South Indian. I'm from that state. Tamil Nadu has implemented this national green emission state actually, and they have implemented a scheme that every house should have planted one tree, or they should grow one plant in a day actually. So every house, that was like when the ADMK party was there, and the last former chief minister Jayalalitha, she has implemented this policy, and that has become a viral throughout India. Are we doing that? Now we want, everybody need a luxurious life, everyone want a car, everyone need a four-wheeler, and that's why now the government started implementing the electric mobility vehicles to be used so that the carbon emission can be reduced, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of facts where the UN has been introduced and what are the policies which the government has taken the initiatives, and not only as a government but as an individual, as a public, like how we could able to implement these things in our day-to-day lives. That's which I'm going to talk about it actually. So we're talking about this. This climate change action plan has been initiated by the United Nations in 2019. And we're talking about the concerns which is about the clean energy. Clean energy, and we're talking about the IoT, artificial intelligence. Yes, of course, this is all an upgrading technology which is coming up. But as an individual, we need to implement these technologies in the modern agriculture and modern farming and all these techniques which has to be implemented in all the countries. Then only we can able to emit this kind of a carbon emission, and we can able to adopt this climate change. Climate is not changing. Actually, we need to change, and we need to adopt this change, and we need to implement certain changes in the climate. That's which we wanted to talk about it. So when you talk about the second point, I think this is another one more fact. No, the UN has implemented the 10-year climate change action plan, and which is going to achieve a 45% of reductions in the greenhouse gas emissions, and then they are going to increase 80% of the electricity from the renewable energy. Of course, this is the renewable energy which we have been talking about for quite a long years, and that is going to be implemented by 45% reduction in the green gas emissions. So the third point is, of course, as an India, as a country, what we are going to do that, because 280 gigawatt from solar energy by 2030, which the India has put forth this policy, and then reducing the each usage of the plastic, producing which is a clean cooking fuel, and protecting our glacier and greening the railway systems and all those things, and by using this IoT technologies. So this is the scheme which has been introduced by India, and then we have been adopting this change, and we will be looking forward for the future perspective. Okay, so what are the challenges which as an environmental conservation, because what are the challenges which you have been facing in the environmental changes of the influences on the climate change? Of course, because these are all the main points which, the day-to-day lifestyle we have been seeing and coming across ourselves in the things. Pollutants emitting into the air, actually. Everyone knows what kind of the pollutants which we have been emitting, actually, and what all the causes for that. And the second thing is the natural resources depleting. Yes, of course, because we are deforestation completely. You can see there is no forest right now. We are just doing the deforestation, building a lot of buildings, apartments, infrastructures. Why? Because the population growth. Everyone need a 3 BHK flat or 4 BHK flat, and because that's a consumer need, basically, right? So that's the people needs. Because as long as the population grows, the need is also growing. So when the population grows, because you need a house, and of course you will be looking forward nearby places, and the builders and the real estate developers, there are huge developers right now in the market. In every state, if you could see, there are huge real estate developers, or a number of real estate developers who are coming in the market to build the sustainability, affordable housing projects, which we have been started talking about it. This is all which is correlated, and it is all a chain loop connection of the climate change. Next, of course, we have been, this is a day-to-day things which is going on, higher greenhouse gas emissions, waste management, and heavy population. I think I'm the first point and the first word which I described at the time when I'm standing here in the dais, because this is which I'm talking about. That's a heavy population, yeah. And we actually beaten the population in China also, I think, compared to that. So burning the indoor solid waste and industrial waste, yeah, I think this has been reduced quite a lot, because the industrial waste management system has been controlled a lot in India. But when you talk about in the early stages, because it was not that much. And heavy usage of plastics, I think even in the plastics also, which we have reduced, because plastics usage was not much in lot of the retail and supermarkets, because plastics usage has been reduced much and much. But I think we should make into the zero plastics, because we should come into that solution, and we need to bring back that zero plastics usage. Okay, some of the strategies for environmental sustainability. So that's what we are talking about, the sustainability on the climate change, sustainability on your lifestyle, sustainability on the adaptability of the environmental conditions, because sustainability is the one word which can go with all the factors which influences in our day-to-day lifestyle. Some of them are, the first point is mobility. Yeah, so the mobility can be the from point A to point B. How do you commute? For example, even nowadays, when talking about 10, 15 years back, when I was my engineering, I used to go commute by, bus, the public transportation by college bus or something. But now today's generation, Even a school student is having a car, four-wheeler. Sorry if I'm not wrong, because I think this has to be accepted. The 11th standard and 12th standard student, and they are driving the car individually and they're going to school. So how are we going to, cut down all these carbon emissions when we're talking about, so as a school student, he can go and use the public transportation of a school bus. But still, the parents are the main cause for all these things, because I don't want to talk much into this deeper topic and it will deviate to somewhere else. So that's the mobility, and we have been introducing about a lot of technologies on AI and then electric vehicles, which came into an existence right now in the recent past. And the government is insisting you to stop using the diesel and petrol cars and go for the 100% electric cars. I don't know in this diocese how many people are owning their own electric vehicle or electric car. So I think in the future, I think we should adopt certain changes for ourselves and for our own needs. When you change, I think the environment and the neighborhood and the people who would look at you will automatically change. One change in your life, in your home, that would cause a huge impact for the other people who is looking at you. Second thing is, of course, the agriculture and the food consuming. What is the quality of the foods, and then what is the livestock consumption and farming, the effective farming, reforestation, and these things are being keep on talking about that, because I don't want to get into that topic again. And the consumption of the plastics to be completely vanished, and then we have to go for the recycling, renewable energy, reuse, and reduce the plastics. That's the same thing. Okay, so what is this is just a small fact. In August, the recent last year, August 2022, India has put forth this targeted of reducing the emissions, the carbon emissions intensity of the GDP by 45% by 2030. They're going to achieve 45% by 2030, and then from 2005 level, and then it's going to be a 50% of cumulative of electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel based energy by 2030. And there are the two flagship programs and schemes which has been introduced by Government of India. So one is the Swachh Bharat Mission. Everyone knows what is Swachh Bharat Mission. And the second thing is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Many of them doesn't know what is this PMAY. So I just wanted to give in a short one word. What is this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana vision? Because this is basically a scheme which has been introduced majorly on the climate change to build a green energy affordable houses infrastructure project. So when you build an individual house or when you build an apartment, so there should be the toplet of that when you're putting that asbestos sheet or what you are constructing on the cement, because you should have the more heat should not be produced in the house, because the heat emissions should be controlled. So that is called the green energy emissions, which has been introduced in the second scheme for the infrastructure projects on the buildings. Okay, so there are certain success stories in the recent past we have been seeing. This is a solar energy implementation. We are talking about the solar panels, solar grids, and coming from the Ministry of External Affairs, we have signed an MOU with the Indian government. Foreign Ministry of Indian government has signed an agreement with the South African government on $100 million of solar panels and solar distribution of the equipments, and solar factory has to be set up in South Africa, and that is which the scheme has been recently. The foreign ministry have signed an agreement. So that is how we have been looking forward the future perspective in India, and as well as with the other countries as well worldwide. The same thing, electric vehicles for mobility, which has already been discussed. The sustainable building, that is what the last slide which I was showing, that Pradhan Mantri Yojana Vigas, because that is a sustainable building scheme, and whoever doesn't know that, you can please go on Google and research about yourself. And smart cities infrastructure, yes, as I said, the green energy buildings, because which has to be put forth as a scheme, by the NARATCO, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and all these people have been taken an initiative on that, and the biofuel usage, as we said earlier. Okay. I think by looking at this slide, I think everyone knows and you can easily understand what exactly this means. That's called reduce, reuse, and recycle. So reduction comes is like lot of these carbon emissions reductions, and go for complete electric vehicle mobilities, and then start doing the reforestation and just grow some plants and do gardening at your home. So that is all the coming up with the reducing of the carbon emissions, and then reuse some of the materials which we have been putting in the garbage, right? Because we are not reusing that materials, because we can make lot of stuffs, because you can do the handicrafts things, and rather than once you are being used some of the when you are consuming the fruits or vegetables and things which we have been put it in the dustbin. So lot of the waste management system which has to be done from each and every home, rather than the government can implement the waste management system. So biofuel reuse, and then renewable energy, the waste management which we are talking about, and recycling. So that is the same process altogether. So that's how. So this is the one thing, the scheme of the logo. I wanted to tell that there is a slogan for this climate change sustainability. Anyone knows about that? That's called Clean India, Green India. So first you clean your home, then you can clean one society and community, and then you can talk about the entire India to clean and Swachh Bharat, and then we can make it more green. I'm not only talking about the clean and green India, I'm talking about the entire world and planet. Our planet is a blue planet. We should make it global warming to be reduced, and then we should make it completely greeny and earth, and then blue planet earth. And thank you so much, actually.